Have you ever looked at a celebrity and thought, there's more to their story than what we see? In Hollywood, some of the most influential figures have done more than achieve fame. They've challenged expectations, broken barriers, and changed how the world understands gender and identity. In this video, we explore the powerful journeys of stars who chose authenticity over fear. Stay until the end, because the final story may forever change how you see Hollywood. Caitlyn Jenner is one of the most widely recognized transgender public figures in American history, not only because of her transition, but because of who the world knew her as before it happened. For decades, she was Bruce Jenner, an Olympic champion who won the gold medal in the decathlon at the 1976 Montreal Olympics. That victory made her a national symbol of discipline, strength, and traditional American masculinity. Endorsements followed. Television appearances followed. Fame settled in. But behind the public image, a private struggle continued, largely invisible to the world. In 2015, Jenner publicly came out as transgender during a nationally televised interview with Diane Sawyer. The announcement immediately became global news. Shortly afterward, she appeared on the cover of Vanity Fair with the headline, "Call Me Caitlyn," marking one of the most high-profile gender transitions ever made public. The moment sparked widespread conversation across the United States about gender identity, visibility, and acceptance. Support poured in, alongside criticism and controversy. Jenner's prominence gave unprecedented exposure to transgender issues, even as debates emerged around her political views, particularly her alignment with conservative positions that sometimes conflicted with the broader trans community. In 2021, her run for governor of California further complicated her public image, blending personal transformation with political ambition. Today, Caitlyn Jenner remains a visible media figure. She lives in Malibu, appears regularly on television and social platforms, and continues to speak about personal freedom and identity. Her story is often cited as a cultural turning point, one that forced America to confront long-standing assumptions about gender, fame, and what it means to live openly in the public eye. Gigi Gorgeous is widely recognized as one of the earliest and most influential transgender creators to emerge from YouTube, at a time when digital platforms were only beginning to shape celebrity culture. Born Giselle Lorraine Lazzarato in Canada, she started her channel in the late 2000s, initially posting beauty tutorials and lifestyle content that fit the expectations of early YouTube audiences. Over time, her content shifted. What began as makeup and fashion gradually became deeply personal documentation. In 2013, Gigi publicly came out as transgender, choosing to share her transition openly with millions of viewers. The announcement marked a significant moment in online media, offering unprecedented visibility to a transgender woman outside traditional Hollywood structures. Her videos combined humor, vulnerability, and honesty, creating a connection with viewers who often lacked representation elsewhere. For many young people, Gigi Gorgeous became the first transgender woman they encountered, not through scripted television, but through direct, unscripted storytelling. As her influence grew, so did her reach beyond YouTube. She appeared in documentaries such as This Is Everything, Gigi Gorgeous, which explored her family dynamics, public identity, and transition in greater depth. She also became an advocate for LGBTQ rights, speaking openly about acceptance, mental health, and self-expression. Gigi's personal life remained visible as well. Her marriage to Nats Getty and their later separation in 2025 were shared publicly with transparency and restraint, reflecting her continued commitment to honesty. Today, Gigi Gorgeous remains an important digital figure in American media, representing how online platforms can humanize complex identities and reshape public understanding of gender through personal narrative. Andreja Pejić entered the fashion world before the industry had language for what she represented. Born in Bosnia and raised in Australia, she emerged in the early 2010s as an androgynous model whose appearance challenged rigid gender categories that had long defined high fashion. Designers cast Pejić in both menswear and womenswear shows, not as a gimmick, but as a visual statement. She walked major runways in Paris and Milan, appeared in international editorials, and became one of the most talked-about faces of that era. Her success arrived while the industry was still largely unprepared to discuss gender beyond binaries. In 2014, Pejić publicly announced her transition. The announcement marked a pivotal moment, not only personally, but professionally. At the time, few openly transgender models had sustained mainstream careers. Her decision raised a question fashion had avoided. Could authenticity and commercial success exist together? The answer in her case was yes. Pejić signed major contracts, appeared on the covers of leading magazines, and reframed transgender visibility as professionalism rather than provocation. In interviews, she emphasized normalcy, not spectacle, positioning her transition as truth rather than transformation. Beyond modeling, Pejić expanded into acting, appearing in projects such as The Girl in the Spider's Web. She also became an advocate for transgender representation, speaking about dignity, access, and the importance of being seen without distortion. Today, Andreja Pejić works between New York and Los Angeles. In American media, she is frequently cited as evidence that fashion, like culture itself, is evolving toward inclusion grounded in respect and broader social understanding nationwide. Isis King made television history in 2008 when she became the first openly transgender contestant to compete on America's Next Top Model. Her appearance on the show marked a breakthrough moment for transgender visibility in mainstream American media, placing a trans woman on a global stage at a time when such representation was nearly non-existent. King entered the competition not only pursuing a career in modeling, but also navigating intense public scrutiny. Throughout the season, she faced moments of misunderstanding and bias, yet her calm presence, professionalism, and confidence left a lasting impression on audiences. Her participation helped introduce transgender identity into living rooms across the country in a way that was personal rather than sensationalized. Following her time on America's Next Top Model, King continued to expand her career beyond fashion. She transitioned into acting, earning recognition for her roles in series such as When We Rise and With Love. In these performances, she portrayed transgender characters as fully realized individuals, contributing to a broader shift away from one-dimensional portrayals. Outside of entertainment, King has remained an advocate for transgender rights, body positivity, and self-acceptance. She has spoken openly about her personal journey, using her platform to encourage others to live authentically and challenge harmful stereotypes. Today, Isis King continues working as a model and actress while maintaining an active presence on social media. In American culture, her legacy extends beyond television, representing a moment when visibility itself became an act of change, proving that simply being seen can move culture forward. Michaela Jaé Rodriguez has become one of the most significant figures in American television history, not only for her talent, but for what her success represents. Her breakthrough came with the FX series Pose, where she portrayed Blanca Evangelista, a nurturing and resilient leader within New York's ballroom community during the late 1980s and early 1990s. Rodriguez's performance resonated widely for its warmth and emotional depth. Blanca was not written as a symbol or a stereotype, but as a fully realized woman navigating love, illness, family, and survival. The role offered audiences a rare, human-centered portrayal of a transgender woman, grounded in everyday experience rather than spectacle. In 2021, Rodriguez made history by becoming the first openly transgender woman nominated for an Emmy Award in a leading acting category. Shortly after, she won the Golden Globe for Best Actress in a Television Series Drama. The achievement marked a turning point in Hollywood, signaling that transgender performers could be recognized at the highest levels of the industry. Beyond awards, Rodriguez has used her platform to advocate for inclusive storytelling. She has spoken publicly about the importance of representation that reflects complexity, dignity, and authenticity, emphasizing that transgender characters should not exist solely to educate or shock audiences. In addition to acting, Rodriguez has pursued a music career, releasing songs that explore identity and empowerment. She continues to expand her presence in television with projects such as Apple TV Plus's Loot. In American media, Michaela Jaé Rodriguez is widely seen as a figure who redefined visibility, proving that talent and truth can reshape an industry long resistant to change. Janet Mock is a writer, producer, and activist whose work has reshaped how transgender stories are told in American media, particularly for women of color. Her influence extends beyond visibility, reaching into who controls the narrative and how those stories are created. Mock first gained national attention with her 2014 memoir, Redefining Realness, which became a New York Times bestseller. The book offered a direct, personal account of her life as a transgender woman, detailing identity, race, class, and survival in a society that often renders such experiences invisible. It marked one of the first times a transgender woman of color reached mainstream audiences on her own terms. Her impact expanded significantly with the FX series Pose. As a writer, producer, and director, Mock helped bring authentic stories of New York's ballroom culture in the 1980s and 1990s to television. The series centered transgender women, particularly Black and Latina women, not as side characters, but as complex leads with interior lives, ambition, and agency. In 2018, Janet Mock made history as the first openly transgender woman of color to write and direct for a major television network. The milestone represented a shift in power, moving transgender representation from performance to authorship. Beyond entertainment, Mock has been a consistent advocate for social justice, speaking publicly about equity, healthcare access, and self-determination. After signing a major creative deal with Netflix, she continued developing projects that prioritize inclusion and nuance. In the United States, Janet Mock is widely regarded as a figure who transformed representation by insisting that transgender people be seen not only on screen, but behind it, shaping stories with authority and purpose. Laverne Cox is a groundbreaking actress and activist whose visibility reshaped transgender representation in American television. Her rise to prominence came with the role of Sophia Bursette on the Netflix series Orange is the New Black, a performance that reached millions of viewers and shifted mainstream conversations about gender identity. In 2014, Cox became the first openly transgender woman nominated for an Emmy Award in an acting category, a milestone widely recognized as a cultural turning point. Her presence on screen was not symbolic alone. It was human, complex, and deliberately ordinary, challenging long-standing stereotypes that had defined trans characters for decades. Before success, Cox faced years of rejection, typecasting, and economic insecurity. Born in Alabama, she experienced discrimination early in life and later navigated an entertainment industry that offered few opportunities for transgender performers. Rather than retreat, she used visibility as strategy. Beyond acting, Cox emerged as a leading public advocate. She spoke openly about trans rights, workplace discrimination, access to health care, and violence against transgender women, particularly Black trans women who face disproportionate risk. Her advocacy extended to public speaking, political forums, and national media. Cox also made history as the first transgender person to appear on the cover of Time magazine, further solidifying her role as a bridge between activism and popular culture. Today, Laverne Cox continues working in television, producing and hosting projects while maintaining a strong public voice. In the United States, she is widely regarded as a figure who expanded representation with dignity. These stories are not just about fame. They are about courage, visibility, and the power of living openly in a world that often resists change. Each journey shows how representation can challenge assumptions and expand understanding, one voice at a time. If these stories moved you, share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more in-depth stories that explore identity, culture, and the people shaping our world.